Hey everyone, it is another edition of Interludes Sector Presents Talk on Tuesdays. Oh my goodness, we are having a blast here. And I have to tell you, it is going to be, I want to say, another phenomenal show on today. Oh my goodness. And it is the start of August. I can't believe we are already it's August 5th. I don't know where the summer is going. I don't know if you guys feel that way. Where's the summer going? But oh my goodness. But anyway, I'm excited. And how was your weekend, everyone? How was your weekend? My weekend was pretty decent. I don't know about you, but I had a pretty decent weekend. And of course, Coach Tony, he is the coaching extraordinaire. He's doing his thing. And we have some things coming up in a couple of weeks that we're excited to talk about. We're going to be in, I think, just outside of Detroit, Michigan. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. And then, of course, we are going to get things going with another edition of Interlude Section Presents Talk on Tuesdays, which is going to get started right about now. Hey everyone, it's another edition of Interlude Section Presents Talk on Tuesdays. And man, we are so excited that you guys are joining us on today. My goodness, man, oh man. August. I'm still marveling over August. That's the number one thing that I'm thinking about. But of course, we are doing our thing. And of course, I want to let you guys know about the book, A DJ Saved My Life. This is the personal memoir that I wrote about how I struggled with my mother's passing, but then on top of everything, how being a virtual DJ, because we were all locked down during the pandemic, and also starting this podcast saved my life. So I love that my writing mentor, Monique Lisa Johnson, told me, Val, we're going to go with that title and you should definitely go ahead and make that work. So I said, that is wonderful. So the print copy, that's right, the print copy is available. Man, I'm so excited about that. The print copy is available. And of course, you just go to purelightHousemedia.com and /shop, and you'll be able to pick up your copy or get a digital copy, which I'm so grateful for everyone that supported the digital copy sales of this. Man, oh man. And of course, our affiliate sponsor is KeySpot. Connect, share, and grow. If you have a small business that you want to get the word out about, please make sure that you do so through KeySpot. And you can go to the KeySpot app, scan the QR code, but go to keyspot.com/free. Oh my goodness. Really excited about that. And of course, we love doing Patreon. I'm having a blast doing Patreon, ladies and gentlemen. I have been putting up my stand-up comedy and some other things I've been writing. And of course, with patreon.com/interludes, what I love to teach is StreamYard. I like when people are saying, well, how do I get started doing a podcast? So my lessons of how to do things are there. And of course, the behind the scenes, behind the show, like with the Pull Up Podcast show and Talk on Tuesdays, that happens on patreon.com/interludes. We have a blast over there, and it's always a fun time. Oh my goodness. But now, Coach Tony, he's on the way in. I just received a text from him, so he's coming. But of course, he just started his Instagram. So you want to follow him on the Pull Up Podcast show and make sure that you follow him on IG, or you can scan the QR code right there and see what he's posting up. Ladies and gentlemen, I am his social media manager along with his son. Sometimes he posts and sometimes he doesn't, but it's up there. I wanted to let you guys know about a speaking engagement that both myself and Coach Tony are going to be doing. It's live and in person, the Prayer Breakfast of Champions, featuring Coach Tony. Woo! And of course, you guys, I didn't realize that this was going to be happening. It's going to be an event that's going to ignite purpose and unlock the divine wealth of principles and kingdom driven living. And so he's going to be there talking about his show. And of course, I am going to be talking about A DJ Saved My Life, how it happened. But of course, it is August 29th through August 31st. And that is going to be just outside of Detroit, Michigan. And it definitely, our guest on tonight, we'll get a little bit more into that a little bit later. But of course, myself and Coach, we are going to be at this prayer breakfast. And of course, friend to the show, Dr. Anthony D. Shannon, he is the person that invited both myself and Coach Tony. We're excited to be coming and doing our thing. And so it's going to be a lot of folks there. So I say, if you want more information, go to prayerbreakfastofchampions.com. And if you're in the area, come check us out. I think that'll be fun. What did I do over the weekend? I want to make sure that I get into this before I talk about it. Have you heard of community theater, ladies and gentlemen? I know I have. Have you heard of community theater? Well, the fun thing that I've been doing, I had a friend of mine, Charlene, her married name is Roberts now. She invited me to the Oaklawn Park District for a production of Hairspray. That was a lot of fun. Oh my goodness. So I got a chance to see the show. I didn't think too much about Hairspray. Ladies and gentlemen, I've never seen Hairspray. This was a movie that was popular back in the day. And I said, okay, let me think about that. But yeah, so I saw they did such a great job with the Hairspray play. And so after the show, we got a chance to talk with some of the actors. Wait, that's my garden. We'll get to that later. But we talked with some of the actors. That's the lead actress. Her name is Tracy Turnblad, and she played, and you know what? She did a great job playing the lead character. So my goodness, so happy to see her. That's Charlene with the pixie cut, and so we were happy to see her. And then of course, another person that did a great job. Her name is Brandy Brumfield Bell. She played Motormouth Maybell. Oh my goodness. She did a song, a rendition in the play. And I was like, oh my gosh, girl, you better do it. So I wanted to make sure to give those guys a shout out. And so, yeah, that's Felicia, Vanita, Charlene. We were all excited to be at this play. So I was like, man, this is a good thing. And then I was like, you know what? I always forget to get a picture with the actors. So I got a picture with the actor. So I said, okay, that'll definitely work. But let me go back a little bit. I have a garden, ladies and gentlemen. I have a garden. And so I've been growing tomatoes. That is the biggest green tomato I've ever seen. It is hanging out on my ledge right now with two mini ones. I'm ready to eat some fried green tomatoes. So I don't know if you guys are growing gardens where you guys are. Even if you have a bed of herbs, basil, dill, rosemary, something. Let's do something that's gonna do great for everything else. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness. So it is what it is. Well, and I was hoping Coach would be here by now, but that's fine. But I am excited to bring on a filmmaker. I wanted to show you guys, because, you know, we review TV series and films here. And of course, we love to be the voice of the independent filmmaker, the people that do great stuff. My writing mentor, Monique Lisa Johnson, has done a lot of independent stage plays, and she's also a filmmaker as well. But it takes a lot of concentration, and I like to call it I like to call it talent as well as everything else. But I got a chance to talk with this gentleman. We were on an audio app, and he had mentioned that he had directed a film, and I said, "Oh, I'd love to see which one you're talking about." And he mentioned it to us, and I saw the trailer, and I was like, "Oh my goodness!" So what I'm going to do is we'll take a little bit of a break. I'll see where Coach is, and then we're going to go right into the trailer, and you guys are going to let me know what you think. And then after that, I'm going to introduce you to this Detroit-based filmmaker who is making, I want to say, a difference. Emmy Award winning as well. We'll be right back after this message and then the trailer. I'll see you on the other side. Here we go.
Are you a small business owner looking to grow? Introducing the KeySpot mobile app. I'm Cynthia McAllister, owner of the IT company Quality SAP. Since 2016, we have been supporting small businesses and help them promote and share their businesses, services, and events across the country. KeySpot is more than just an app. We are a network providing community. KeySpot, connecting communities and supporting small businesses.
I know you're shaking up right now, but by this time next year, we gonna be set for life. I ain't talking hood rich. I mean wealthy.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to propose a toast to the woman of the hour, Keisha. Her passion to transform real estate in the city.
So you're telling me at your age, you've amassed over $7 million in real estate? Girl, as a young Black woman, you're not only breaking barriers, girl, you're demolishing them, okay?
I've been having memory blackouts. I don't remember clients. It's like parts of my days just vanish.
Was there something wrong with the clothes you bought for me?
No, everything was perfect.
Then tell me, dear, why did you come in and buy the same clothes all over again?
You are Keisha Bryant.
I'd like you to look at some old videos of yourself.
You are Keisha Bryant.
This don't make no damn sense.
Babe, there's nothing wrong with you, okay? You are Keisha Bryant.
How could you live with that?
I swear I'm sorry.
There's no end until my victims get justice.
You are Keisha Bryant.
I need to find out why this is happening to me.
You are Keisha Bryant. You are Keisha Bryant.
Coach, welcome.
Coach in the building.
I was like, where is he at? We about to bring on the guest. Where's my friend at? I know you coaching, but what's going on?
I gotta keep it fashionable. Y'all gotta keep it fashionable, you know. I gotta always start. Then I walk in. I ain't trying to get there while they said nothing.
Oh my goodness, you're cracking me up. You're cracking me up.
From the DJ, I gotta get there. If I ain't DJing no party, I'm late.
Well, you know what? I'm excited to bring on our guest. He hails from I like to call it our sister city, Detroit. You gotta say it like that. You can't just D from the D.
Yeah, from
and
the D.
Also,
say Detroit, say from the D. You know what I'm talking about. I said Detroit, it's from the Chi, from the D.
When I think about the impact that he's making, people that come to my mind are George Tillman Jr., Spike Lee. When you start off and you want to make an impact in your community, you want to use filmmaking to do so. This is what this young man is doing. But we're excited to welcome on to the to the Interludes Extra Presents Talk on Tuesday. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Tamashian Jones. Welcome.
Shizzle, what's up, baby?
Hey, what up, though?
Man, hey, man, I got to teach you, man. Nobody say Detroit from the D, man. If you don't know what a D, man, come on. It's like in the nap, we call it the nap. Y'all know that. Y'all better get y'all lessons out.
For sure, man. It's all good, baby. It's all love.
Oh yeah, man. Glad to have you tonight with us tonight, man. I got some Kim folks up there, man. My uncle had a bar right around the corner from D Mercer, and I just come to that. And my auntie live up right off of 8 Mile, close to Coney Island, man.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
I'm gonna do my little summers up there, man. Do a little couple things.
Yeah. I mean, we like 4-5 hours away, depending on who's driving. You know.
And depending on what the weather looking like.
Yeah. That too.
Sebastian, we're so excited to have you here, and we met on an audio app, and a mutual friend of ours was like, "Yo, this real talented young man, he's doing films. He's training people on how to do films, and he's got his film that's on Tubi. It's on Prime. It's called Mirror of Deception. You gotta check it out." And then you started talking about it, and I was like, well, let me look and see. And then I looked at while we were on the app talking, I saw the preview, and then I went on IMDb. That's where I stalk everyone that does anything in film. And I was like, oh, he for real. Oh my gosh. But I know a little bit about your backstory, but I would love for you to let our audience know what got you into, number one, doing filmmaking. And did you start off like acting, or did you start off behind the camera? Because have I ever done any act? I've never done any acting, Coach Tony, but that's just one of my questions for you.
Yeah, so I went to a high school called Communication and Media Arts, CMA, and they were real big on media and the arts, right? So we, used to do acting in plays and monologues and things of that nature. And then one day they approached me to be in a short film. They were bringing a film crew in, and they were filming the scenes in the hallway, and we had to go to the drive-in and shoot a scene at the drive-in. I mean, it was like a real thing. It was my first time being on a film set, as a high school senior. And I was like, yo, this is pretty cool. We had to do it like over and over again. I'm like, wait a minute, the same thing, like the same way. And it was like it was just wild, and I really enjoyed it. But I really didn't get into filmmaking or doing video behind the camera until around 2001, 2002, when I got my hands on the actual high 8 Sony camera. And then I had an iMac, and I used iMovie, and I began to kind of do skits and film weddings and stuff like that, just doing video editing. Then, 2011 is when a couple of friends and I got together and we shot our first like real movie, so it was a while. So from 97, when I was first introduced, 2002 was a hobby. 2011, it was, all right, we're doing this. We're making an actual film.
And don't let him sleep either. The brother athlete, he can play balls. Don't let him talk you out of that, because he'll be sleepy on
it. Yeah. I used to hoop a little bit.
Yes.
Oh wow! What was your position? What position did you play?
I was guard. Yeah.
I know a little. And I'm just glad, man, when you start dropping movies, man, you didn't come out and do something like a Walking Dead, man. I know it's cool.
That's a TV series.
No, there's a lot of different things. My friend just came out of Georgia Tech and just shot his first movie similar to a Walking Dead, and he just got a 9 points on what's that when they rate the young movies or whatever it is. But I thought it was kind of interesting because he took the Walking Dead trilogy as an extended. When you came out and you thought about this movie, because this movie reminded me, I can't think of the one, but Val, man, you talked about it. The one where
What movie? Be clear.
The Mirror of Deception. That's what I'm talking about.
Mirror. Before we jump into Mirror of Deception, because I'm gonna do the Pull Up Podcast show direction. The way I love the way you go with that. So
that action.
All right, hey, I'm ready to boomerangs.
I know we'll get to Mirror of Deception in a second, but it seems like me and you kind of did the same trajectory of shooting. I think I shot my first short film on a 16 millimeter Bolex, and I was thinking about that, like when you got serious and you had other people with you, what part in that first film that you played? Were you the director? Were you the producer? What was your role in that very first film that in 2011 when you said, okay, this is what we're going to be doing?
So, you know, being from Detroit, we don't necessarily get caught up in like titles and everything. We just try to get it done, right? You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So I just jumped in this thing and I was trying to help. You know, I was moving stuff around. I was kind of calling people, organized. Me and my wife, we put a spreadsheet together with all the props and you know, all the locations, because you know I'm an engineer by trade. So I left high school and I went to become a manufacturing engineer. So I had the manufacturing mentality when I got to the film set, but I didn't understand the different roles that I had until we were coming up with the credits, and the director was typing in the credits. He was like, "Yeah, you did that, you did that," and I'm like, "What? A producer, a unit production manager, or whatever? You know, all these different titles, you know." And so officially, I was one of the producers, but it was my job to be like the glue. So the director was one of my friends who went to Full Sail, and he learned actual filmmaking at Full Sail. And then my other partner, Daryl Bradford, he went to Michigan State as sound engineer. So we had the cinematography, and then we had the sound. And then I came along kind of like just coordinating things and making sure that they can just focus on making a dope movie. And I just kind of like was a support system behind it. And then I was kind of like hiring and firing people and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So
that's a producer.
So, you know, you just
it was my role to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Keep it close to the belt with most of your homies and all that, because you're going, because those are the people that you know. So you can fire them kind of easy, because you know next week y'all still gonna kick it.
Yeah. And the thing is, most people work for free, so it wasn't like that big of a fire. It was like, you know, but no, it was a really joyful experience. It was painful at time because we didn't know what we didn't know when we first started. You know, stuff would happen, somebody dress rip, and it's like, okay, well, we have another dress, what we do, you know what I'm saying? And we just improvise, and we just learned how to do it. But the thing is, with filmmaking, every film that you make, you learn from those challenges and those painful experiences and make your next film better, because now you don't make those same mistakes. And I'm like 15 or 16 movies in, so now I can be like I really understand this thing. You know what I'm saying?
Man, but you being from the D, I'm from the south side of the Chi. I'm gonna get together with you. I got a house track coming out, and I think we could turn into a nice comedy called My Man's in Them. And you know,
he probably wants you to shoot. He probably wants you to shoot the music video. Yeah,
I get the video. Yeah, but I'm just saying. But you know, that title, My Man's in Them, because it's a play on words that is actually a young kid from the neighborhood who finds himself in a situation, that every day the wrong is pulling at him, but the old men in the neighborhood are the right. So they keep telling him, hey, man, keep traveling down this path, even though the wrong path keep pulling you back. Yeah. So you want to listen to them, or you want to listen to My Man's in Them?
Right. I like it. Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. And was the very first film, was that A Love That Hurts?
It was A Love That Hurts.
Yeah, and
that's my baby, man. That was our first. You know, it was the toughest film. You know, but it was definitely very rewarding.
You make everybody watch it. I know I read something. I was looking at something. You were talking, and the young lady was asking about you. Like, you got to watch it because you know it hurts, but you got to watch it all the way through. I can't give you the piece because that be the part that you need to see.
Yeah. You got. I mean, that's the whole point of filmmaking, man. You gotta. It's like a closed fist, you know. Every element, you know, you got to build on it, and eventually you get the prize. You know what I'm saying? I can't just come in and just say, here's the
turn it off.
You know what I'm saying? So we got to do some character development and get it to the point where you like, I wonder what's next, and then you find out what's next, and then you know go down that rabbit trail. You know,
man, are you walking around sometime and the ideas just kind of hit you like when you came up with that? How do you come up with some of the ideas or some of the thoughts? Are you and your wife sitting down sometime, or maybe you out with your boys, or maybe driving in the car, something hit you like, man, you know, that sounds like a nice movie. And then it just,
I mean, I get them all the time. It's kind of frustrating at times because they come and it's like, do I act on this? do I do this or do I, chill out and then wait on it to develop? But I always like try to write things down so I don't forget. I got my little notes app, and I just, I write, the different ideas down. But a lot of this stuff, man, what be so cool about it is you can take your own life experiences and then give it to these characters, and you can make up stuff and add stuff to it and stuff you wish you would have did in those situations, and then not this character get it right. I mean, just the creativity. But a lot of it comes from life experiences and other people's experiences that I know. People in my family and stuff like that or whatever. Kind of like just put it all together.
Yeah. And the one thing that's interesting that you started in doing a feature film and then you went documentary. And so what was the draw to that? Because if you're shooting weddings or doing things like that to, okay, I have an interest in it and I'm doing this, then I feel like documentary filmmaking is a space that a lot of filmmakers start in, but you started feature and you're like, nope, I'm going to do a documentary. What brought you to do Cody High, a life remodel project, the one I think that you won the Emmy for?
Yeah, that's my baby too. Yeah,
all of them are your children.
All of my babies. You know what I'm saying? We like. If I had the choice, I would pick narrative feature films all the time. Like that's my passion. That's what I love to do. But it was a gentleman by the name of Chris Lambert who ran a nonprofit organization called Life Remodel, and they were doing this extreme home makeover kind of thing where they were like giving houses to people in the community and fixing them up and everything. And they decided to go on how can I say it? A beautification project where they wanted to clean up an entire school and the surrounding neighborhoods. So it was like a 6-day project where they wanted to clean up 100 square blocks around this school, give it a new football field, fix a lot of the roof leaks, and just a bunch of stuff because the kids couldn't even play football on their home field. They had to play all of their home games at other schools because they didn't have a functioning football field. You know what I'm saying? So they wanted to bring, GM and FCA or Chrysler, all these different people and Quicken Loans, all these companies in, along with faith-based organizations, all together to beautify and bring these 10,000 people to help beautify this thing. And they also needed, resources too, to put roofs on houses. I mean, they were really like boarding up abandoned houses and everything. But the CEO came to the film premiere for Love That Hurts. And he was like, man, you guys did a phenomenal job. I have this project and I would love to sit down and talk to you all about doing a documentary on a life remodel, a Cody High, a life remodel project. So, and we said, all right, we'll do it. And then it got an Emmy. And what that did was it opened up the floodgates of other people saying, hey, you guys are Emmy Award winning documentarians. Can you do a documentary on this? Okay, I do want to get back to the narrative feature films, but the documentaries are kind of like in demand. And then, with the research, and we only take on projects that we like care about and love and know. And I'm like, doing the research is fun. And so, So I'm still kind of like, I'm doing a documentary right now and a narrative feature film, like at the same time. I love them both, you know what I'm saying? But that's what kind of pulled us into doing documentaries, because once you get that Emmy about doing a documentary, everybody started giving you a shout, about helping out.
I'm just glad you did it, man, because first of all, it put an initiative to clean up the D. I know I read some stuff on Eminem. Him and his group jumped in and did some big things to start cleaning up. Downtown is coming back. I used to come up all the time, and we'd go through the tunnel and go over to Windsor, man. I used to love that, and everything. But just the focus that you put on the city and then on Cody High to just come and do that documentary and let everybody know this used to be a very important place or a very important community. And we got to bring it back because people need to know history was made here of some sort years ago. When you're sitting down and you're looking at that and you're like, man, because it's personal to you then, how was the your mindset when you were shooting that, when you actually got a chance to get back into the community, get in the neighborhood, like, wow, you know, and then it's kind of just hit you to start bringing out the best of where it used to be?
Yeah, so I mean, I got to give a shout out to Walter V. Marshall, who was the director of the documentary, and he did a lot of the legwork because I was working full time too. So a lot of events, you know, he was going to, but we all kind of like came together during the 6-day project and kind of like helped filming and everything. But you know, some of these individuals that we highlighted, they are doing phenomenal work in the community, but no one really knew about it. So what we did was provided a platform to say, hey, you know, look at this young lady, Kenyatta Campbell, who's, you know, working hard, trying to bring back the beauty of her neighborhood.
Right.
But she needs some help. She needs some resources. She needs some funds. She needs some people to come alongside with her and help her do this work, you know. And it's really good. Now, if you go to that neighborhood now, it's totally different than it was 2014. So like 10 years ago, it's a really big difference, you know. And they actually started this Cody Rouge Alliance where they bring in more people and they getting donations, and they got a community headquarters now where people can come and get resources. They pass out backpacks and everything to actually is going on this weekend.
Make you feel good because you were the kind of the initiator of that kind of
that's where it all started with that Cody Rouge, you know. Yeah, absolutely.
Especially when you got the old heads, right? Because the old heads like, well, I used to play ball right over there in that park right over there.
Yeah. I used to play ball in that park. That was messed up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I think that when there's a connection to the city, because I feel like when I mentioned George Tillman Jr., and you guys remember the iconic film Soul Food, to me, and of course the gentleman who made Love Jones, to me they made the films great because they made the city look good. And now I'm gonna do a jump to Mirror of Deception. Coach, when I watched this film and I watched it on Saturday night, I just was looking and I sat transfixed because I was thinking, man, this looks good. Like, it sounds good, it looks good, because for independent filmmakers, it's a matter of, I talked with you before the show, Tarshian, and you said you shot this in 4K. It looks like it did. And you said it looks better on Prime than it does on Tubi, but that's where I saw it on. But Mirror of Deception, it seems like everything about this film is original, which I like. There's original music that you wrote. You wrote the screenplay. You directed it. So you took on more of a creative in this process, and because there were other hands that helped you with the documentaries in your first film, but how did you come up with the idea of Mirror of Deception, and how was that screenwriting process for you, like coming up with the characters and sitting down with all of that?
Well, how it originated was, you know, in 2020 we all sat back and watched Tubi. A lot of us in Detroit, you know, we were like, hey, I'm like, this new app with all these Detroit independent films
for free.
Right. So I watched a lot of films that were made here in Detroit by filmmakers who are, you know, phenomenal. But they had some technical challenges, you know, some things that I learned when I was on set, because they went to film school and he came back with the way that, you know, film should be made. A lot of people were taught by somebody who was taught by somebody who was taught by somebody.
Right.
And may not learn those key fundamentals or whatever. So I started I wanted to put together a filmmaking workshop to help individuals in Detroit to make better films. I just wanted to give them a few more tools in their toolbox. So I offered a filmmaking class, and I did a whole class session on that. But we also were dealing with AI and how we can utilize artificial intelligence to help streamline the filmmaking process. So I did a whole workshop on utilizing AI to help you get started. Like, if you have an idea for a film concept, how can we use things like Midjourney and ChatGPT and Canva to like do certain things? So we came up with one idea to make a movie, and then we put it in Chat GPT and say, all right, let's come up with a log line, let's come up with this, and let's give it a name. And then we came up with it wasn't what the film ended up being, but it was a very good start. But that's when we came up with the idea for a mirror deception in class. And then we came up with mock art. So the artwork that you see on there with her looking into the mirror, we had a mock AI version of that. And then once we cast it, we recreated that whole setup because we had the initial prototype, so to speak, with AI, and so it's a lot of things that AI can help you do as a filmmaker. A first idea, you can bounce ideas off of it and everything. I did kind of like discourage them to just saying, hey, just write this script. It's not that good at just creating scripts. You got to have your own, thought process. You know what I'm saying? But it definitely is a good help and a good aid,
Wow.
So that's where it started.
Yeah. And Tony, I'm like totally surprised that because a lot of people are running away from AI, especially in Hollywood. Some people are cool with it. They're using AI all the time, and it's reducing the costs on, I want to call it production. It's reducing production costs for people using AI and special effects and stuff like that. Like you could create your own world and use AI for that. But that's interesting that you came up with the concept and it was in class that you did so. But then when I thought about, it was a suspense thriller, and I was seeing things kind of slowly being revealed, and then I was like, how come I can't figure this out? And I think maybe about a third in, I think I might have got it, and then it confirmed it maybe a little bit later, kind of bearing the lead. So I was like, I got it. But it made Detroit look really good. And I'm assuming you use local actors in Detroit for this project.
Yeah, absolutely. I had, the people that I watched on Tubi, you know what I'm saying? I didn't do a casting call for this film. I just called and cast. I just called and cast.
You show up, you win.
Well, it wasn't just that. I just called them and I cast them. I knew exactly what the characters were. Yeah. I just picked up the phone and I said, hey, I think you'd be awesome, because I've seen their work. They had a resume, they had a way of presenting themselves, and they had a tremendous work ethic. So I really wanted to, what's up, April? Thank you. I really wanted to highlight the Detroit acting scene, because they really brought it on this film. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
I like it.
I'm glad you said that you saw how Detroit looked good, because that's one of the goals.
Yeah, a nice sunny day on there, baby. Nice sunny day on there.
Yeah, we wanted to show Detroit in a good light, because I mean it is a beautiful city, but unfortunately all the negative parts of Detroit has been put on the platform for everybody to see, but not the positive, So I just wanted to highlight the fact that we have a beautiful waterfront, we got beautiful houses, we got beautiful people. You know what I'm saying? And we got some people.
Downtown is remarkably redone, especially down around where Tiger Stadium's at and all that. And I thought you done a heck of a good job. And you need to give a big shout out to your boy on that drone, because he was flying that drone, man.
Yeah, man.
Really parts of the city that only a person that's in a drone could really cut and see. And you kind of got to know that from there, because back in the day, remember, they used to take a bird up in a helicopter to get those filmed.
Yeah, so in Cody High, all the aerial shots was me and Walter inside of a helicopter. So we flew a helicopter. Yeah, we flew a helicopter around the city, around Cody, and we shot all of our footage in 2014. Now, 2024, I had the best drone pilot that I can find, which was Jonathan Jewel Chatton, who was a phenomenal drone pilot. And I seen his work, and I just fell in love with it. I'm like, yo, I need you to do this and that, and that's what we end up coming out with.
You drinking the juice from the energy zone.
Hey,
Jay likes to crack jokes.
I got to represent Detroit, man. This is a Detroit Black-owned energy zone drinking juice, 100% juice. They don't put all the other stuff all in it.
Yeah. He from the deep, boy. Hey, so I always gotta
what up, though, Jay?
I gotta give him that, boy. We always knocking head. But I'm gonna tell you another thing you did as well, besides getting some great shots to the D, is just the intensity of the movie. Just the characters you had them playing. It reminded me of when I originally got into it. I said, man, this is crazy. This girl crazy. Kind of like that Taraji Henson movie. That's what I was talking about.
Taraji P. Henson, yeah.
These characters off the chart. But what was so crazy is what I loved about it was you took a young African-American woman who was a successful business lady in her career, took a maniac that mentally played games with this young lady who didn't know what was going on and kind of flipped scripts. So I was like, all right, that's dope. And then to get that, like I said, mirror deception, you kind of say, oh, because when you look in the mirror, it looks right back at you.
There you go. And it's deceiving too. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of stuff. Like as an artist, I gotta think about like, okay, how do I weave in my artistry mindset and also make it entertaining? Make people want to rock with it. Because when I look into like with the mirror deception, it's about like looking into a mirror, seeing yourself, but it's more there than what you see. You know what I'm saying? Like we all have the potential to become somebody else better than what we are. You know what I'm saying? So we can't just be deceived by what we see, because we can become even better and greater.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? So that's really like, as an artist, what I really want to portray. But this one is, she looking in the mirror, seeing herself, but somebody else. Well, I don't want to give away.
Exactly.
You know how it is.
Love what you did too, and Diana, I know we meant to get your question earlier. She was asking about, when you're coming up with like young filmmakers, do you guys, during the time you were getting started, did you find a lot of people that was willing to want to fund you, or did you find yourself in a situation where you had to kind of go out and get your own funding?
So early on, we had some people that originally wanted to help fund A Love That Hurts. But we were so new to this, I couldn't look investors in the eye and be like, yo, I don't know if you're gonna get your money back. You know what I'm saying? It was like I didn't fully understand that. So we literally refused to take people money starting out, and we funded the movie ourselves because we messed up our own money. Then, but I can't look at my aunt who like, yeah, I can give you some of my pension and this like, and Lou, I don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? Right. So early on, it's like, yo, I don't know if I'm gonna mess this money up, but I'm gonna put my own money up and we're gonna make it happen. Now, 14, 15 films in, I started taking investors because I'm like, I know how to do this thing. Right. And I can look you in the face and say, all right, still some crazy stuff could happen, but I'm doing everything I can. And I know enough to know how this game works to be able to give you your money back.
Okay.
And I remember talking to another Chicago-based independent filmmaker, and he was just saying how you have to have, I guess, negotiating skills to get your movies on streaming services. Like, I don't know how hard that is, or how do you negotiate and how much of a percentage that you get from the film. But I think that he told me if you work out all of that paperwork and then make sure that it's shot a certain way so it can pass all of those checks, so it can get on to Netflix, it can get on to Prime, it could get on to Tubi. And I'm assuming that's some of the things that you train some of the filmmakers there in Detroit, when you're like, if you're going to be shooting this, you're going to shoot it in 4K, you're going to shoot it this way, you have to make sure it follows the standard so you can be approved by these streaming services. Is that about right?
It is. I mean, a lot of it is one, I mean, I have to say it's about relationships, so if you have a relationship with a certain platform, and they know that this film can go on this platform, then you can say, all right, you start with the end. They got a list of deliverables that they need. Then you take that deliverable and then you start with it and say, all right, I need to be able to produce this at the end. But there's certain platforms that say you don't need this big long list, you just need this. And if you want to shoot for that, then you need to start with that. So it's like certain movies, they got like $100,000 cameras, that $100,000 cameras and lenses that you can shoot on that Netflix or whatever will require. But you also have movies channels where you don't necessarily need that. You can shoot it with a couple of $1,000 camera. Mm-hmm. So if you're going to shoot a $100,000 camera movie and put it on a movie platform that only allows, a smaller version, not as high resolution as a movie theater, it's like you're wasting your money.
Right. Yeah.
So have that relationship first. Know that you're going to put it on this platform. Then you can go and get whatever camera appropriate, and lenses or whatever appropriate for that particular platform. But you don't want to waste your money on a big platform kind of budget, and it goes on a smaller platform that doesn't require that those types of deliverables. So am I making sense? I'm just
that makes plenty of sense. Okay. So Coach, you got it.
I was saying that I know exactly what he's saying, because I was how I got kind of introduced to it was basically looking at your normal TV every day, right? Shopping for TVs. I wanted TV, didn't get it. Guy came up and I said, "What kind of TV you want?" And I said, "I don't know. I'm looking at. I know the 4K is here and there." I said, "But I know that everybody's looking at 8Ks." He said, "What are you gonna do with it?" And I tried to explain to him. He says, "No need to waste your money." He said the reason why, because most movies nowadays, you won't find very many. He said very many, like very minuscule, that actually shoots in 8K. So you'll spend $2,000 or $2,500 more dollars, and you won't get it. He said, what I want you to do is when you watch TV or you watching whatever, look in the corner, hit your information button. It'll tell you exactly what it's shot in, and it won't be 8K. So I get it.
Right. Yeah. I'm just trying to be politically correct and walk around the things or whatever, but I'm just saying, without naming particular platforms and everything, you're absolutely right. So you're spending money on an 8K movie and the platform is 2K. Now you got to reduce it down. You got this 600 gigabyte movie, and they're saying, hey, reduce it to 30 gigs.
Right. You like, hey, y'all fired, but we're gonna keep 2 people.
You know what I'm saying? But if you know that it's going on this platform, you shoot it, and then your goal is to produce a 30 gig file. Correct. You know what I'm saying? And then your budget is appropriate.
Right.
So a lot of people blow their budget because they're shooting for this without the relationship. Mm-hmm. And they're saying that these platforms are gonna take it just because it's good. And that's not always the case. There's a lot of good movies that's not on these major platforms, and and it's a major platform that got some bad movies because somebody got a relationship with them.
Did you learn that? Did somebody give you that hustle? Or did you kind of figure it out when you were saying you had to get to here, get to there, and get to there? Did somebody kind of say, "Hey man, look, let me give you the inside out. Start at the back. They tell you what you're gonna need and flip that to the front." Or did you kind of have to figure that out as you were learning the game? Yeah,
I had to figure it out, but I started studying the game in 2021 when my homeboy did a hood movie, and they made like $100,000 in 3 months, and I was like,
"Call me on that." I've been scrapping that.
What is that? Wait a minute, and I'm working as an engineer, and I'm doing all right. You know what I'm saying? With my little 6-figure job, and he doing it in 3 months, and I'm like, So then I'm like, how? What? And as an engineer, I started putting spreadsheets together and started trying to figure this thing out, and okay, well, how do we do this thing? And that's the reason why I began to learn about the different platforms and CPMs and the way that we get paid through advertising and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I think that's one of the things that I did not further go into with filmmaking, because I did not figure out the piece of getting paid. I knew how to get paid from shooting weddings and bar mitzvahs. I knew how to get paid from shooting corporate, like documentaries or things that's for a corporation. But when it comes to something that's passionate, and here's the question that I'll ask on behalf of people that I know that are actors: were you able to pay your actors for Mirror of Deception, or was that something similar to what you did when you first started out?
So when I first started out, everyone, I mean, it was probably 2 people that got paid. You know what I'm saying? And they got paid enough to kind of like, you know, get gas in the tank. You know what I'm saying? But this last one, I had actually got invested because I wanted to get who I wanted to get, and I wanted to have the resources to pull this movie off. And I was able to pay all of the actors, you know, pretty much what they asked for. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that if they would have asked for more, I would have paid them more, but it was like it's a certain budget for daily rates that people normally get, you know, in Detroit. And we use like the SAG minimum amount for our budget films. So everyone's pretty much getting, you know, what a unionized film of this budget would get. So, but yeah, I definitely made sure that I took care of the cast as well as the crew. You know, I wanted to make sure that people, when I call, I want everybody to answer and come rock with me. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So is a comedy on the horizon?
I got a rom-com on the horizon. Yeah.
Oh, that would be wonderful. Yeah, and I want to compliment your lead actress that you had. I want to say Michaela Lalani. Is that how you pronounce her name?
Good enough.
You're funny.
I call her MK. That's my homegirl.
MK, yes. I was on her IG earlier, Coach, and she has Mirror of Deception all over her IG. Like, it's always wonderful when the actors believe in your project as much as you as a filmmaker, because I know that is a boost, because who's going to watch it? Of course, I want my girls to watch me in the film. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. June Sheldon, who plays Marcel Jordan. I feel like I've seen him in some other things. How many credits did some of your actors have? And it's good that you were using actors that are in and around the Detroit area. Give me some, who was your favorite actors to work with in this project of Mirror of Deception?
I mean, all of the actors that were in this movie, like, I really admire their work, and that's why I wanted them to be a part of this film. And you know, but there's also, I wanted them to be, how can I say it? I wanted this movie to be the movie that they mention when people say, "Hey, can I see one of your movies?" I want this movie to be the first one. You know, and then for my next movie, I would love for the actors that play in that movie for it to be the same. So I really wanted a piece that we all could be proud of, and and I'm glad that they are promoting it and they're sharing it, because we need that. There's a lot of filmmakers that are frustrated because actors aren't sharing and promoting the films, but I didn't put it in the contract for them to share it. I didn't, you know, pay them to share it or whatever. They felt it was so good and they loved it so much. They just were compelled. They just wanted the people to see them in a really well-made movie, you know? So, and I'm excited for, you know, their career and the things that they have, you know, on the horizon, you know, because if what they did with us, they had the potential to do even greater things, you know?
Yeah, that's super dope. So let me put you on the spot. So you make this comedy, right? If you had to pick out whether it be up and coming comedian right now or a comedian that's, you know, very well known, and you had to make this comedic movie you got coming out, who is the person you would like say, man, I would be dope if I could work with Denzel? You know, who would that person be that you would love to work with?
I mean, Denzel the GOAT, man.
You know, comedian. I'm just saying, if you're making a comedy movie,
man, I would make a comedy with Denzel, man.
I
guarantee you he would kill it. You know what I'm saying? No. I mean, you know, like I would have to think about it. You know, like for me, I would love to see the script first and figure out who I think will be able to be the best fit for that particular person and character, because everybody can't make cornbread. You know what I'm saying?
Right. But they can, but it ain't gonna taste good.
That's what I'm saying. You know, some of it ain't done in the middle. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And I would love to, like Crazy Nephew Tommy, man. I would love to see him in the big movie. I think he's coming. But it's really good. Have you also thought about doing short films? Just some just quick, or just kind of now you got your mind set for the big side of the house and ready to blow it up now.
Only time I would do a short film is if I'm collaborating with one of my students and this is something that they want to do. But I'm really about feature films unless I win a grant and the grant requires me to do like a short film with this budget. Because a lot of times then you got like because some people get short film money that we'll make a full-length feature film with. You know what I'm saying? Like it's people that spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on a short film.
Wow.
And I'm like, man, you give me that.
Yeah, give me
we got 2 or 3 movies coming out.
How long does it take to get a process of movie? Like how long is the whole process from beginning to end, shooting and all that? Month, year, 6 months, 2 years?
Let's see. So let's start with a mirror deception. So we had the class in October of 23. Okay. I wrote it from November 1st through basically January 1st. Okay. I really finished it in a month, but I sent it out to my friends and they, read through it, gave me some notes. From January to April, we did pre-production. We got the crew, we did rehearsals and everything, and we shot it in May. It was a 13-day shoot. May. By September 26th, we had our film premiere.
Wow.
September 26th. I had an editor that was working on this thing around the clock.
You was rolling.
And then we submitted it to Tubi and Prime and the other platforms around Thanksgiving time. And it came out February 21st of 2024.
Wow.
Wait, no, 2025.
25.
Yeah, we shot it in May of 24. And it came, so concept, idea, October of 23, out for everybody to see February 21st, 2025.
Wow, that's about 19.
Wow.
Use hustle.
And what you guys are looking at right now, this is on MK's it's on her Instagram. And let me see if we could get the sound going a little bit here.
What's going on? But by the end, I was like, "Ooh, you a genius!"
It is everything that you want in a movie. I can't give it away. You just need to come and see it.
Tamashian Jones should be getting an Oscar for this. I'm trying to tell you, it's the best.
Great movie, a really big pickup for Detroit. All the filmmakers, I'm looking like, all right, I got to step my game up.
Man, the movie was incredible. All the cast was great. The location, it was just beautiful. This film might be the most polished film I've ever seen come from Detroit.
It rivals anything done with a much larger budget. You guys need to get out and see this film. It is amazing.
It's you that needs to be convinced, yeah. And I'm steady on a mission, yeah. I need some kind of intervention, yeah, to take away all of the tension.
So this was your actress that shared all this on her Instagram, and I'm just sitting here going, okay.
We better call Sean.
What'd you say, Coach?
I said we better get Big Sean on the hook, man.
Hey, but that was my son on the hook.
Man, he's spitting that.
Son. He did the production of that song, and he wrote like 80% of it. I think I chimed in with another 20%.
Right.
Right. But that was my son. That was him singing and rapping, and he did the music. I mean, he came downstairs with that song, I almost cried, man. I was like, you did that? What?
Hey, T, don't it make you feel good? Because like the hook I got from my pull-up podcast show, my nephew wrote it. It is a banger, man.
Yeah. It be like that sometimes, man.
We got this at. We need to script and put this on the spot. So
yeah. But Tamashian, I am interested to know what you have coming up, because I'm excited for what those next projects are going to be, and if I think April asked in the chat how, or if people want to get and reach out to you, how would they be able to reach out to you and find you?
Through social media, Instagram, or Facebook. I'm not hard to reach. You know, you type in my name and all kind of stuff. You know, you can go to myname.com, to myshine.com, and you can see all the stuff that I've done and way to get in contact with me. But what
and
I have,
the next projects you got coming up?
I got a variety of projects in different stages of development. You know,
I like the answer too. In other words, Val, I got a lot of stuff going on.
I do, man, and I'm excited about next year. I mean, right off top, I have a documentary that I've been working on for the last 3 or 4 years about the great jazz legend named Marcus Belgrave. This guy played the trumpet and taught so many Grammy Award-winning artists that people know. And I mean, he played with Ray Charles. He played at Motown. He played with all the big name, you know, people at Motown. And a lot of people need to hear his story and how he loved young people so much that he pretty much gave his life and became a mentor for so many people. So, so I want to premiere that in a major film festival. I mean, this one is one of those ones that I really think that has some legs on it, that could really do a lot of great work when it comes to highlighting, you know, the jazz community, the people. Like, if you're not really from Detroit, like people in Detroit that's into jazz, like they know who Marcus Belgrave is, but the rest of the world, some people do, you know, and a lot of people know around the world know who he is, but I want everybody to know the work that he did and impact he made on so many different people.
That's some type stuff there, you know, especially like coming to the shot in Muddy Waters. Everybody got to know Muddy Waters, you know what I mean?
There you go. Also, I just got off of a 35-day bike ride with Black Leaders Detroit, who rode a bicycle from Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma to Wall Street in New York.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I drove from Oklahoma to Nashville a long time in the car. So
man, they were bike riding every day, man. They rode for 6 days and they took a rest for the 7th day. Then they rode for another 6 days, 60, 70 miles every day, up hills, Pennsylvania, Oklahoma. Man, it was crazy, all because they're trying to raise money for Black-led businesses and organizations. They give out interest-free loans and they give out grants to nonprofit and for-profit Black-owned businesses, and they were raising money. And I followed them along that bike ride, and it was crazy, man. It was raining. People were
I was about to say about it because it's been storming pretty bad.
Man, it was a lot of stuff going on, man. So, but we filmed a documentary, and hopefully that'll be out, you know, around the spring, or ready to start being put inside of film festivals, submitting to film festival in spring of next year. And then I just finished writing a movie about myself. I got shot when I was like 14 years old, hanging around in these Detroit streets. But I wrote it's a lot of young people being injured, killed, shot. With, you know, gun violence against kids. When the beef started with adults, but the kids end up bearing the brunt of this, you know, altercation. And I wanted to do something to help highlight the fact that we need to protect our kids a little bit better as a community. So the name of this is called Innocent Bystander. I'm just start sending some feelers out about the cast and some feelers out about the crew and when we're going to shoot it. I want to shoot that, you know, in the fall of this year, and you know, and a couple other little pieces here and there. But those are the 3 main projects that I have going on. Thanks for asking, Val. I appreciate it.
That's dope, man. Let's stay and I'm gonna be available. We're gonna sit down and get that my man's and them rolling, because I think we can do some things with that.
My man's in there, you know, my man's in there.
Hey, and Val know, I told him to release it. Hey T, I got a house track. I made a house track. Val thought I was tripping till I turned it out. and we're about 70% finished right now. The lyrics got to go on it. And my nephew's working on it. He's award-winning, work with Michael Jackson, work with Janet Jackson, work with Teddy Riley. So he's got a nice track. So, we that old Chicago and Detroit house back with Larry Legend and Levine and Father and Frank, baby. So I want to keep it on that classic side of the house, man. And so it could be something like that, a part of it. So I like that.
Sounds good, my guy.
Yeah, so we want to make sure that we put your website out there, all the information regarding all of the films, documentaries, as well as the feature film Mirror of Deception. It's available on Tamashian.com. I'm sorry, that's the website. So I'm putting that in the chat for you guys to check it out. And of course, we really appreciate you stopping by. When I heard your story on the audio app, and I was thinking he would be perfect. And when I mentioned it to Coach, he was like, "Oh, from the D? Yeah, he definitely got to come through." So I say, do yourself a favor if you have Tubi or rent it on Amazon Prime, which I found out from Tamashian that it looks a little bit better on that. Please check out the film Mirror of Deception. You are supporting a wonderful, brilliant filmmaker. You want to make sure that you do that. And like I said, I enjoyed it. It made Detroit look beautiful. I was just in awe of that. And so for any filmmakers that are in the Detroit area, please reach out and do your thing. And Queen April says, I'll be watching. She's gonna check out your film. So
I appreciate you. I need a few 100,000 people to watch it on there. Let's get this thing going. You know what I'm saying?
And if you got that sports side of you too, T, any night you want to show up, man. Monday nights, 8 p.m. same time, different place, man. You got the Pull Up podcast show. That's my show. On the pull up, so just pull up on me anytime.
Okay, all right, bet.
Oh my gosh, we'll talk to you a little bit after the show, but right now we're just going to go ahead and wrap up. But thank you guys so much for joining us with another edition of Interludes Extra Presents Talk on Tuesdays. And as we like to do and end our telecast here, we'll do it. Put your two fingers up, Tamashian, say peace.
Peace.